Hi everyone, Yolanda Dye with Fresh Tracks Leadership Development. Today I wanted to discuss 4 steps to conflict resolution. The conflict that I'm referring to today is interpersonal conflict, so it's between 2 different people. So what is conflict? Well, according to Wikipedia or Google, conflict is many things. Conflict is a disagreement. Conflict is an emotion. It's something that we feel as a result of something or someone. It can be an incompatibility. Conflict isn't always a bad thing. Conflict has consequence. It also has huge influence that plays a part in our language, our actions, and sometimes our behavior. And last but not least, it is inevitable and it's unavoidable. So it is up to us as individuals, as well as leaders, to ensure that we take the appropriate steps along with conflict resolution, especially under pressure of, everything with the day-to-day. So the 4 steps that I use, starting with number 1, is making sure you really hear each other out. Hearing each other out without the emotion, a no place of judgment, and definitely on neutral ground helps you get straight to the facts. Sometimes that takes up to 24 hours, sometimes up even to a week, depending on the severity of the conflict. But as long as it's agreed upon that you both take some time, think about it, and get together and meet and discuss the facts of what had happened, as long as it's agreed upon. You're certainly not avoiding the situation or avoiding the person. You're just getting some times to get the facts straight, even, internally before you express them. The second step would be to find out what the other person is seeking from conflict, whether that be they just want to be heard, whether they are seeking fairness, justice, anything like that. Sometimes it can just be they're seeking consistency, and sometimes that, can be as a little as a disagreement over a garnish on a beverage, whether it's a bean or an olive, or who does what on the opening or the part of the closing checklist at work. They seem like small little things, but at the end of the day, when emotions are involved, it can become conflict. On a more severe or complex situation, it can be you are discussing with a colleague what is appropriate and inappropriate behavior, or what is acceptable or unacceptable behavior in the workplace. So finding out what you are seeking. The third step would be to come up to it with a conclusion. So the conclusion is what you both want out of the situation. So that being said, I'm a huge believer that it takes 2 to have the conflict, that it also takes 2 to have a role in the responsibility when coming to the conclusion. So person A, maybe they need to be a little bit more calm, hear each other out, and be a little bit more empathetic. Whereas the person B needs to step it up a little bit and review the checklist and take the time to notice the standards of the procedures and learn that acceptable behavior that is really sought out of the conflict. The 4th step would be to follow up. This always can be a tricky one in terms of, especially, whether it was an explosion, emotions were running high. It's easy that the other person just assumes that everything is fine up to, after the conclusion has come up and you both play responsibility. But it's always nice to follow up with that person and ensure that the desired outcome is still, in fact, desirable. So those are the 4 steps in conflict resolution. They work really well for me, and I teach that in my workplace. So feel free to send me an email on what you guys do for conflict resolution. And I'd love to hear at www.freshtracksleadership.ca. Thanks, everyone. Take care.